Hello, welcome back to another video, and today I fucked up my thing. I usually do whatever. And today it's the explanation video for the 555 Funnel-Vortex Trapdoor, which was requested by you guys. So I took in the feedback I got to the 3x3 explanation, and I think I'm gonna do this differently. So I'm gonna go over what each circuit does, and then like show the piston stuff happening as I copy it over as a, well, not as a tutorial, but you will see how it will look. So without further ado, let's get right into the layout. So we have a fold-in triple piston extender at the bottom, obviously. So this is the fold-in triple piston extender, and yeah, we have the redstone block double piston extender over here to power the piston at that position. And then obviously the pusher from back there pushes the thing back. On top of that are just the 4 double piston extenders you can see here, and on top of that are the row of normal piston extenders and another double piston extender on each side, and then on top of that are 4 or 3 sticky pistons on each side. So that's the layout. It's literally just this shape with 3 normals, 2 normals, 2 doubles like this on all sides, except that one is a triple and there's redstone block stuff here. So with the layout out of the way, the input right here, this orange part and the red part, I like to separate the input block from the input circuit, so this is literally just the block, and then orange is the input circuit powering everything. So as you can see over there, the repeater will read this block to power gray, the redstone block will power the green down here, and in the midst of all of this is actually this hopper clock. So this hopper clock actually sits exactly here, and then this block is also the hopper clock. So this 2-tick repeater is there to make sure the hopper timer starts functioning at the proper time. So what happens when we flick this? Well, the closing happens. And so for the closing, we will look over here. What will happen? So this right here is just a falling edge 1 tick to this. So this right here has the double piston extender and then the normal piston extenders. But what this does is it just 1 ticks these pistons, like so, as you can see right here. And then what happens is this hopper timer will use this updater piston to tell this piston to push this piston in, so like this. And then once the signal has traveled through gray, it will turn on this, and well, then the redstone block will power that. So that's that side. The piston right here is also getting powered, and the piston over here gets powered. Well, there is no piston over there. So that is all that yellow does for the closing. We will get back to this later. The next thing that gets powered is obviously the gray from the very input block over there. So what the gray does is all of these double piston extenders and the single piston extenders associated with them. Like, well, not that one, but like that, and then these, and then this, and that's it. Okay, so what these do is exactly what they look like they do. So once we power this, you can see they all extend except for that one, because this one, like this thing right here, is part of the redstone block control circuit, which is green. So as you can see, or as you can't see because glass is a terrible choice for this, well, that does like everything except this part, which, well, this side we've just talked about yellow. By the way, this double piston extender also gets treated that way. So yellow works. Yellow does this side, gray does like all the other sides, and when we turn off gray, you can see that one does a full retraction, and then the hopper timer over here does the retraction of that one. I will get to the hopper timer later. So this one right here, as you can see, just uses an ABBA gate for the double piston extender, as we have the luxury of actually being able to access this block right here, while this double piston extender just gets an ABBA gate from here. This one, I'll get to this later, and this one is tricky, because as you can see, its input is not where you expect your input to be. So this double piston extender has its own separate circuit, which is dark green here. And yeah. So once this turns off, right, we get a hopper clock here, which is actually one of the weirder hopper clocks I've done so far, and its whole purpose is to juggle like 5 items, but on an inverted state, and then yeah. So let's just believe me when I say this is a very delayed falling edge monostable. So when this turns off after some delay, this will do a monostable basically. And yeah. So you could have just put the hopper clock on this side, but the thing is, this torch is needed for the circuit for the double piston extender on this side. Well, this side. So I had to get finicky, because this actually needs to do like 6 times 4, which is 24 ticks of delay, because as you can see, like, here's the input block. This is 1, that's instant off, that's 2, that's 4, that's 5, that's 5. That's fucking 5 ticks from input block till well, 8 ticks from the input block till here. And then I still need to wait 24 more ticks because of yellow and the triple and the quad and the whatever. So that's why this is a weird hopper timer. Which, by the way, this hopper timer, as you can see here, also handles this piston. This piston is this piston in the slider of the redstone block to vanish it. Right here. This gets also powered from this, after, of course, an insane delay. So if we just do that, it powers, well, here's a double piston extender from gray. This is this. So it powers this thing on a 3 tick. And, well, if there was a block here, it wouldn't do that. So as you can see, it pulses this all the way from here, whilst also fixing this double piston extender for me, which is quite nice. And then in order for this thing to get fixed, I'm firing this circuit, which is missing something, by the way. Which is missing these repeaters, and that's cut off. So what this does is it fixes these, it fixes this double piston extender, which is these double piston extenders right here, which of course were fucked up by this block being part of this double piston extender for the redstone block. So once these turn off, they're in this state. And the way this is designed, as you can see here, the signal which comes from here travels through the entirety of gray through this dropper hopper, which means I have this dot down here to play with, and this dot will power this block without powering everything else again. So by powering this dot right here, I am able to, on a falling edge of course, so this just is in this corner, so as soon as this retracts, it will just do the falling edge. So this falling edge then will, yeah, this falling edge then, is that a 2 tick? I don't think that's a 2 tick. Oh, it is a 2 tick. Oh, that's a 3 tick. Okay. So this is a 3 tick, and then this should work. Yeah, as you can see here, it pulls back this piston and also does the retraction for this piston. So if we do that once again, so this is here, It's been here from the start, it's just never updated. So once this retracts, it will do the retraction for the bottom double piston extender and do everything but the final pulls for the top double piston extender, which is going to be handled by light green, which is this seemingly random dot right here, which is this seemingly random dot down here, which was actually what was like the last thing to fix. So this dot also gets powered by the light green down here. And I will get to that after I've done the blue. So back to yellow. I hope this makes sense in the end. So the first thing that happens on the retraction is the redstone block gets pulled away. Because of, well, it just does. The way this circuit is designed means that this piston right here will update it as soon as stuff happens. Just trust me on that one. So you see the redstone block right there. Now it's retracted. So it retracts pretty quickly. And then it so after the redstone block is retracted, it doesn't really matter if it's retracted, it just needs to go to there. So this isn't powered anymore. Then yellow gets turned off because gray, as you saw, gray is like really quickly from there to over here. It's like 8 ticks. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10, 11, 12. So there's like 12 ticks to here, which is like almost nothing. In those 12 ticks, the green barely retracts. So when this turns off, as you can see, the ABBA gate down here has done its work, and the piston are now ready to like ship. So the next thing that's gonna happen is the hopper clock will run out, pulling out this piston. And then what will happen is light blue, and what light blue does is really simple. So you see this block with the torch, right? We just turned the block on to turn off yellow. And when we turn the block on, as you can see here, this is just a standard piston monostable. So this right here is gonna give us a 1 tick. Well, that's the 1.13 bug. But then up here we also have a repeater lock falling edge monostable. So these 4 repeaters will also pulse this piston once they are done. Okay, let's do it like this because 1.13 is shit. And then on the... it does nothing on this edge. So it's literally just 2 falling edge monostables, which connect to yellow. And then this drop proper just is the final pulse for this double piston extender. Which actually also took a while because this needs like what, 5 ticks of delay. And we don't have a 5 tick delay repeater, so yeah. So after this turns off, after 4 ticks, basically giving this piston enough time to get pulled away, this 1 ticks from this monostable right here, right? So this monostable right here will 1 tick everything you see at the moment, which is that. So you saw the bottom retracted once more, or the bottom pulled in another piston, as well as this glass block got moved. So it was like this, and after the 1 tick it is, well, both pull, as you can see here. So next up is the top falling edge monostable from here, which not only 1 ticks whatever is below from here, but also sends a 3 tick into this thing. So what that means is nothing really. It just does a retraction for this and the 1 ticked pistons at the top. So we 1 tick this once again from the repeater lock, and you can see these 2 are done. This is done basically. And while these are retracting, so like they can't fuck up right now, because there's block 36 somewhere. This gets powered, like so. Yes, that's not... It's a... that... I can't replicate it here well, so... So these get pulled in. This one also gets pulled in, and I forgot a dust here, which is why that's fucked up. And then from here comes the pulls to get this done. So that's this side explained, hopefully. I'm gonna show why this doesn't work right now. Oh, right. It doesn't work because the input block keeps this extended, so there's no way this can actually fire the monostable because the input block is literally right next to this, as you can see here. This is a piston, this is a corner, this is a piston. If you look here, so this is 3 ticks, this is 3 blocks in. Yeah. And yeah, that's how this side operates. It's really just a fold into piston. It's really just like a double piston extender firing twice, and then once this block gets pushed in, once this block gets pulled out. So one of the last things, like basically the last thing to happen, is this actually retracting. And for this to retract, the signal goes like all over the place. So you saw back here, the hopper timer from here is actually responsible for pushing over the thing at the end. And yeah, so this gets powered from blue all the way in a giant circle. So this block right here, you see this block? That block is actually this block right here. And this right here is the well drop hopper you see over there. So if we just take a look at the original for a moment, you can see how everything fits in. So this input block is the monos, this is the falling edge I've talked about, there's blue. And this is the drop hopper right here. Which, this drop hopper is actually surrounded by stuff. As you can see here, this is a fold-in triple piston extender, these are the double pistons, that's an updater piston, these are the singles. So this drop hopper, which fits in here perfectly, is the key to powering everything. So on the closing, when this block gets removed and then put in, it does absolutely nothing, because it has a single strength of 1, and this is hard powered anyways. So this right here is powered. And then there's this here powering this block, and then this dust updates that piston. So that's how this works, right? And then when this gets turned off, it retracts because of this dust, and then stuff happens. Actually, it doesn't retract because of dust, it retracts because of this piston retracting when this piston realizes it, and then so this piston gets retracted a bit. So here comes the first funny bit. Remember this redstone block piston down here under these 2 double piston extenders, right? Which did like this motion. You saw how it pushed, right? This push, which got triggered from all the way over here, from all the way on this corner, gets pushed. This does the first retraction. This retracts the piston from there to here. Because when the piston first retracted, it couldn't pull it because this was still extended. So now we're in this state. And in this state is funny. This state is powered by, if we look at this again, if we look at the original again, you see this is the drop hopper, and this is the block which gets pulled, or which gets powered, I should say, by the blue thing from... I double flicked it because, oh my god, there's a bug in 1.13 where that randomly happens, and I fucking hate it. So, let's do this. So, look at this. And then this piston right here will update and power this dropper hopper through this dust. If we watch this comparator, or I guess I'm putting another one here, we can see how this happens, right? You saw it? This pulls, this extender, this realized it's powered, and then did a thing to power this. And what happens there is, well, this one just pulses. Because this has a single strength of 1, it doesn't trigger everything again. And that means it will just power this 3-tick repeater, retracting the redstone block into the wall. Simultaneously, it powers this dot right here, which I said was responsible for this, because this is here. And there's the dust, and there's the thing, and there is that. So if you look at that, that's right here. So this also powers that one. Yay! Yeah, so that is this dust, if you remember. Which is also why this takes ages to do the final retraction, if you look at it. You see, the last things to happen are these two getting retracted simultaneously, and this one actually later. Because this one has to happen later, because that has to happen after that one. So, once we're in this position, then that part kicks in. So, this is why we need the hopper timer, because we need to wait for that to happen. Then we need to wait for blue to happen to power this one. We need to wait for blue to happen, which is like the last thing which would happen normally. So after the last thing, after everything has turned off and we've waited through these endless falling edge monostables, then we are allowed to push the thing back, which is, well, you can see it over here. Here's the double piston extender I showed earlier with the 3-tick right here. And we just read the signal from below and then push this. So the the interesting thing about this, right? You see this updater piston. So when let's just imagine what happens here, right? So this piston extends, and then these both get powered. This piston cannot push at the moment because, well, it's because I made it fast. So when this piston gets pulsed, this piston right here is like extending currently. So while this has happened, this gets powered. And then this gets turned off a tick later. And then this piston extends, or finishes extending, so this block right here turns from block 36 piston head to solid piston head, which is the block update which makes this piston finally push over the thing. And that is how everything works together in like this really cool door. So we got the input over here, which powers this ring of 3 sides, which are basically easy as fuck. So then this triple piston extender gets powered from this corner, and on the opening as well from this corner. But then this corner fixes this part, and then this corner triggers this corner, and then this corner pushes over stuff to here, which makes this corner push everything back to here. And I just think this is really fucking beautiful. Because, like, if you just look at it, there's most of the part is just gray, and I made gray because it's just 6 double piston extenders and connection. Gray isn't really complicated. But the way the colors interact with another, like this blue powering this dust, powering this, powering this, powering this, and then pulsing like this piston right here. That is just amazing, in my opinion. And then, like, well, this corner fixes that one, but like this clock not only fixes this, but also has a delay to actually power this, because in this corner there's no room to power it. If my initial idea was to hook up this piston to, well, this green, and then just have some repeaters running into that direction. I need 18 ticks of delay here. There's no way to fit this in. So I had to move this to here, where there's like nothing to do. and then transfer the signal down here, and then to make it faster and there. But in order for that to happen, I had to modify this gray circuit, which doesn't use a torch, as you can see over there. It uses another dropper, which, yeah, happens, I guess. And, yeah, that's everything. That is everything. So, this corner just pulls out this piston on time and pushes it in. This corner does the triple piston extender and the triple piston extender, while also firing the redstone block double piston extender retraction, which is also helped by this corner. And then the slider happens from this corner, and then, yeah, everything falls into place. And that's it. I'm gonna try to edit something nice on the screen with like transparent circuits. If I can't, I'm sorry. I hope this video actually explains something and doesn't confuse the fuck out of you. Yeah, thank you for watching. The usual blah blah blah. Twitter, I'll tweet when I have stuff done, I'll tweet when videos come out, I'll tweet when I'm going to live stream, Twitch for live streaming, and then I'm running out of ideas. I'm not running out of ideas, I'm running out of doors to present because I'm busy at the moment. And I'm like not home on the weekends, so we'll see how that goes. Bye!